Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Smoogleville, where I'm going to show you how to make this rather useful and rather neat and easy to make little sawhorse. I've forgotten art making these, so check it out and I'll show you how to make one of these, and it puts you every time in the perfect position for cutting your lumber by hand when you're out in the woods with no power and no battery tools. A long time ago, when dinosaurs still roamed the earth, I was a site carpenter swinging hammers from sites across Kent and southern England, and you know, it was kind of fun days. Didn't make a lot of money, but made a scrape to live in, if you like. And we didn't have, you know, flash tools. The stuff I've got now would be a dream. I mean, lithium ion technology wasn't there then. We're talking nearly 40 years ago, and you know, you could buy miter saws, but nobody could afford them. You know, it was like 2 weeks' wages to buy a miter saw. So if you had one of those, you were the kind of kingpin, you know. But so everything was done with hand tools. And what I'm going to do in this episode is show you how to make a sawhorse using just purely the tools I would have used back then, back in the day. With one exception, I don't actually have a hand drill in here anymore. I used to have a wheel brace or a swing brace. I used to have all of those, don't have them anymore. So I will have to cheat and use a power drill to drill some holes to get the screws in. But other than that, I'm going to be doing it all with a handsaw. So you'll see how that comes out. And it's been a while since I've done any of this, so this will be an interesting little vlog, if you like, of how to make a sawhorse. But the techniques I'm going to show you are probably, you know, nearly forgotten about now. Every site carpenter used to know this stuff when I was a kid growing up, but now these skills are probably forgotten. So I thought I'd capture them on video, so you know how to make yourself a neat little sawhorse that'll last you a good few years, depending on how well you treat it. So here we go then. I'll show you how it's done right now. Okay, so the stuff you'll need to make one of these: obviously a marking tape, a pencil, a set square of some sort, a saw. We've got a fairly new one here I'm going to use, and you're going to need a sliding bevel. All right, and a few scraps of wood. We're just going to use a 2x4 right here, and I'm going to cut, you know, about 20 inches off that, and I'm going to do it by hand. And I'm going to use buckets because I'm going to pretend I don't have a workbench in here like it would be on site. We'd use anything we could sort of put a knee on, you know, to actually make the cart. So let's decide. They don't have to be too big. Yeah, about 2 foot's nice, isn't it? Let's go with 2 foot on that then. So we'll mark that, and I'm going to make 2 pencil marks on this. All right. So I'm going to draw one across the top here like that. Just. All right, and to cut this square, all I need is one going down as well, like that. All right, now what you do for a handsaw, this is a bit of a lost art, this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my thumb to guide the saw in, and you start with a backward stroke like that, and then just run forward until you get a little notch out of it, and that's that first notch. So you use your thumb just well above the teeth there. You can't really cut yourself, so it's not dangerous or anything. And just get this cut started like that. Now you're trying to follow the top down this way, all right? And if you keep your elbow in, keep that firm. You can even put a foot up on here if you want. I think I can get just my weight on top of it like that. And I'm looking down, so I can see that line and I can see this one, so I can track the saw. And if you start right, it should stay right. Now I'm just watching the top line now because I'm past the front line. And here I go, and just as I'm about to drop it, I'll get my knee on there, catch hold of the material, and just take that last couple of sweeps to clean that off. And that, if I haven't lost my touch, that should be dead square. Oh, I have not lost my touch. Once you get this skill, it's like riding a bike. you never lose it. That's dead on. that rivals a cut that I would have done on a miter saw, which is how I cut most of the time now, but I just wanted to make sure I could still do it. I've still got it to go, as it were. And that is absolutely, it's dead on, that is. And it's dead on that way as well. I can't see any light, no daylight. So I've still got it to go when it comes to cutting, all right? So sometimes I might make a pair of these, but I've only got enough legs for one. And so I'm gonna just put that to the side over here. That's still a good piece of lumber. Now, the next trick is we're gonna mark out where the legs are gonna go. Let me show you what I'm gonna use for the legs. I've just got these, basically I did actually cut this on the table saw just because I didn't happen to have any 2x2 lying around. This is X 2x2, so it was 1.5 by 1.5 inches, but it still make a good leg. All right, so there's a couple of things I've got to do. I've got to cut an angle in this, and I've got to cut slots in this to put them in. So let's start with this and get the legs ready. And so I'm going to figure out an angle, and then we'll set the legs so that when we fit them, they'll splay out like that. And these are obviously too long, but I'll show you how we do that next. Right, now what I've done here, I did actually use a protractor. I'd probably just eye this on site. Normally I kind of got it in my mind out what the angle is. So I thought I'd repeat it onto this just to show you. It's 10 degrees. That's a 10-degree angle I've put on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and like I said, I only took the measurement because I want to give you a number in case you want to try and follow what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put an angle on this leg here, like that. So that 10-degree line, like that. Run that down there. Okay, and I'm going to repeat. I'm just going to repeat that. This is how I'd have done it on site. I'd have just put the, just set the old sliding bevel to what looked right, and that just happened to be 10 degrees for me. Set that, tighten that up, so I can repeat this, and then I'm just going to get this my square again, and well, I'll show you how I'm going to cut this. We'll get this on the end here. Ooh, actually it's a bit tight, isn't it? Hard to see. Let's just do that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but good would be great. There we go. All right, and again, some hand sawing. So, and I'm going to sort of, so you can sort of track the line. I think I'm pointing that just about right at the camera. I'm going to cut long ways. Now this saw's not a bad ripper because it's got fairly long teeth. All right, so this should rip fairly well. Same technique, thumb to get it in position. Of course, without a proper saw horse, using this bucket is less than ideal, but I can still pull it off, I think. So thumb to get that guide going on the line, get it started, and then get your thumb out of the way, and just let the saw do the work. All right, let's make the rest of them now. Okay, I'll just use this one as a template now. That way they all come out the same. Oh, that was the other side benefit, is you had a few wedges to throw in your bag, because a chippy always needs wedges. That's wedges, not wedgies, okay? Jocks. Right. Good. Now, that's some legs. Now what we've got to do is we've got to get this guy ready. Okay, I did want to talk about the marking up a little in a bit more detail. Let's show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to, first of all, I've marked in 4.5 inches. That's where I've come in with that in the end. I'm going to just mark that there, get a line on the top at 4.5 on both sides, and this makes this the top as well. All right, so Now I get my sliding bevel like that, and let's get the 10-degree mark on there, like that. Same on this end. Now I'll take an offcut from the wedge from the legs, and I'll just put that across there, line that up with a pencil line, and then cut across here like that. Same here, just to get the right width. And so as long as I cut more or less to the inside of this waistline here, that should go in. Now I've done that, I'm going to make another line, and this is just really to guide my saw across there like that, so when I'm cutting down I can see where I'm going. Do the same on this side like that. Let's mark that. Oops, no, that was straight, that's all right. Okay, looks good. Alright, now the last thing I'm going to do, this is really easy. I'm just going to use my finger as a kind of a rough guide here, and let's come in about an inch like that. Let's just mark each one, flip that around, mark that side, and that'll give us, and then I'm going to notch this out, and that'll be where my legs come in. Alright, so that's the marking out done. So let's get that cut and ready for the legs. Now this one's always tricky because I've got to cut these at an angle. So, and they got to be good. Now, what we used to do would be to get the old S-wing like that, and 9 times out of 10 you can just pop them out with that. But it's a bit brutal, so I'm going to go get me a chisel. And I did always used to carry a mallet, so I could get my, right, you come in near to the bottom but not quite there, and let's see if we can knock that out pretty square. Not bad. Go this side. So there you go, that's not too bad. Alright, so we're getting there. We got those cut out. Now how this works is, you probably guessed it by now, we're going to bring this leg in like that. We squeeze that one of those in there like that, and we get it in there until it's kind of snug up to the front here. You can have a little bit over if you want, and then I'd screw that on, right? And I get all 4 on there like that. So we'll get those done, and I'll get them all popped on there, and what we'll do is screw them in. So like I said, I've got to cheat here and use an electric screwdriver because I can hand drive the screw, but I can't drill a hole with a hand drill because I ain't got one. So I've got to cheat a little bit on that one, and I'll also put some glue in there as well. Okay, so let's put that together. Yeah, great. Lovely. And I'm going to drill a hole, and then I'll get a screw in here. Okay. Do I have any crosshead screws? Oh my. No. What can you do? No crosshead screws in stock. How about that? I can't stop using them. These torque heads are just so good, you know. Well, that's starting to take shape, isn't it? So, now what? Well, it's got the collie wobbles, and I'll show you what we do about that. Alright, and it's way, way, way too high. That needs to, it's going to end up being just about below my kneecap. That's where you want them, right there. So you can just do that, get your knee up on it, get some pressure on it. So, you know, it's sort of a personalised thing, but anyway, there it is. And so I've got to stabilise these and then cut the legs, and I'll show you how we stabilise. Make a pencil line. Oh, get up there, you. Don't go changing on me. Alright, okay. And then, again, I'll get the handsaw on that. Dear, oh dear. Never put those in the right place, do they? Oop. Okay. Right. That puppy's going to go on here like that. Let's get some glue on that. Now we get out the good old Birmingham screwdriver and give them puppies a little start like that. And then wind them in. Here. I actually got canned on one job for making one of these. Somebody nicked mine, and I got on site, and they weren't there, so I had to make 2 more. And the gaffer fired my butt because he didn't like me spending, you know, production time. I said to him, well, how am I supposed to work without one? He said, well, that's your problem, isn't it? Okay. Well, I went down the road. I probably had a job by that afternoon. It was crazy in those days. Right, now look, what I'm going to do is, the next part of this story is, I want to get it roughly the right height because these are way too long. So let's, I'm going to just chop these legs off, and then I'll show you a trick for getting this level, all right? Which is kind of cool. So let's get the tape measure. And we, like I said, we want it to go just below the knee. So the total height wants to be right underneath your knee, because you just want to be able to lift up your leg onto that piece of wood up there and use it. And I'll show you, I'll cut another piece of wood when I made it. So that's, what's that, 19 with a shoe, 19 inches for me. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Right, so what we need to do now is find a flat piece of floor. Let's sweep a little. What looks best? I could get a bubble on it, I guess. Let's get a little bubble on it. Check the old bubble. Oh, well, okay, that answers that then, doesn't it? So, assuming that floor's nice and flat, so wedge that up just so it's the right height. And you're probably wondering, what on earth is he going to do now? That's dead level on the bubble, right? You could say it's on the bubble. Now, get yourself a bit of scrap, like that. Get yourself a pencil. And then, what we do, now we've got it level, is we, using this 1.5 inch piece here, and that's why I went to the size I did. I'm going to mark off of that up there, make another line, and just go around the whole thing doing that, marking these legs right at the level there where this falls, and you can see what's going to happen, right? That should cause those, if I cut them right, that should cause those puppies to sit down, whoops, nicely flat on the floor. And the only tricky part about this is giving yourself some purchase to push on when you're sawing on those 2 lines. Because I've got to do I'm doing basically a compound miter by hand here. So let's see if we can stabilise this a little. It's never easy, this bit. bit loose grained there. All right, let's see what we got. Oh yes, yeah, pretty stable. Not perfect, but now it is. That floor must be slightly bowed over there. Now the fun part, now we've done all that, we're ready to use this thing, except for one thing. We've got these puppies sticking up. And I always enjoy this process. And that's cutting these puppies off and just let the saw run down the... and try and cut them as tight to the top of the wood as you can. Oh, perfect. A nice little sawhorse. And now, and it's just the right height, check this out. So, you see how I'm using it? I can put my knee on here, I can get over it, I can see my lines. So there you are. One, very useful, very small and portable, lightweight, easy to use, and the perfect height for all of your sawing needs. No problem. Yes folks, it's happened again. Another 20 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. In the unlikely event that you found something helpful in this video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up, or if you're really desperate for something to do right now, hit the subscribe button and I promise to pop up on all your devices with more annoying and very uninformative videos. So until the next time, take care and let's be careful out there folks. We'll see ya.